Hey there! Welcome to the SVR'd Floor, a mysterious and important podcast where we deal with the uncertainty of the Apple TV series Severance in a way that Kier would have wanted, together as a family. We also speak candidly about sensitive issues as they relate to the show, such as mental health, politics, bigotry, etc., because it's important to normalize talking about these things. I'm Kelly G, editor-in-chief of the Bullshit Gazette.
I love that. I can't believe I just noticed that now. I'm Jazzy D, executive chef of Melon Head Portraiture.
And I keep, I, I don't know why I keep doing this. I keep putting my name as Kelly G instead of Kelly K because I don't go by. I use a different I use my maiden name publicly.
I did Jazzy D-S last week, and then I forgot until I said it, and I was like, "Fuck, I forgot the hyphen."
Yeah, I'm changing, and I'm constantly forgetting that because I don't go by my G last name. Normally, I go by I don't go by my K last name in like privately. I go by my G last name, but my G last name, which, anyone can find from our older videos, but I'm like the only Kelly with that last name online because it's so unique.
Yeah.
The name itself isn't necessarily unique, but the spelling is. So yeah,
I so regret hyphenating.
Yeah,
it was a mistake.
I regret not keeping my original name because it Kelly Keen rhymes. I mean rhymes. I mean it rings, kind of rings, but also yeah, but also there are like a million Kelly Keens. I'm actually in a Facebook group called Kelly Keens of the World Unite. Oh man,
that's so funny.
Yeah, so we are back talking about Trojan's Horse, episode 5. Jazz, what did you think of this episode?
It was good. I was telling my husband earlier, I was when I was rewatching it to get screenshots, I feel like I cannot hold on to what happened in this episode. Like I keep forgetting what happened because it's probably like the most action light episode we've had so far.
Yeah.
Like it's I would never call it filler. It is not filler. Stop using the word filler. That's not what filler is. A filler is a clip episode, okay? Like this isn't filler. It's but the majority of the episode is building to the next one. Like it's all building stuff that's going to pay off next week, which can be a little slow for pacing wise. But I mean, all the performances were amazing. I really thought Adam Scott was incredible in this episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I also really like the tension between Miss Huang and Mr. Milchick.
Yeah.
Like, is she in charge? Is she his boss? Like, what's I need to know what's up with her. I need more information on her.
Yeah, but seriously.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite of the season so far, but that's like it's my least favorite Eminem. Like they're all great.
Yeah, no, I feel exactly the same too. It's my least favorite so far, but it was still a brilliant episode.
Yeah,
and
an amazing episode of television.
Yeah, yeah, there hasn't been a dud moment yet on this show. But I was very sad to see that the Melon Head was not for a future Melon party where like Irving was being honored or something, but it was for his funeral.
I mean, there's no way he's gonna be gone forever. They couldn't do that. I refuse to accept it.
Yeah, I really hope not. I mean, I know we still have Irving, but like we need Irving B.
Yeah.
God
Irving
damn.
doesn't even know Irving B.
I know. But yeah, let's jump into it. If you aren't familiar with our new format, the way we're doing things now, so we go through the recap first, and it's very visual. We put up, if you're listening to this, if you want to check out our YouTube channel, Cyborg Queen Media on YouTube, we do like put up screenshots from the episode as we're going through the recap, but we do the recap straight through and then we get into the discussion. So if you're not a fan of recaps, then you can just skip over it. We include the chapter times and everything. You can just skip right to that. And if you do like recaps, then you can just stick around for the whole thing. But let's go ahead and dive into it.
Jump on in there. Dive on in.
What's up?
I said dive on in.
Oh, the episode is called Trojan's Horse. And you got the I think the screenshot started at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white hallway. Okay.
Boom.
The episode begins with an eerie cold open. A man whose face we don't see pushes a squeaky metal cart down a sterile Lumon hallway. He's whistling Gordon Lightfoot's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, a song about a doomed ship and its lost crew, setting an ominous tone. And I've had that song stuck in my head since I've seen the episode.
Mm-hmm.
He arrives at a room in the optics and design department where Felicia and another employee are waiting. The room is filled with cabinets resembling a mix between a storage closet and a morgue. The man requests a shipment, and Felicia hands over a box containing sharp dental tools. He loads it onto his cart and leaves, heading down a long black hallway. The same one that Irving has been obsessively painting in his outie life, and the same one our beloved Miss Casey disappeared into last season. The scene ends with the man disappearing into an elevator, leaving the purpose of the tools as mysterious as the work they do at Lumon. We transition to Mark's home where he's sorting pills and sipping a disgusting-looking reintegration smoothie, part of Ragabi's regimen.
What is that?
I know! Seriously!
What is that? Whatever it is, I'm not okay with it.
No, it looks like mucus.
I'm not even going to leave it up because it's disgusting. Okay.
Mark talks to his sister Devin on the phone. She asks him how his weekend retreat went, and he mentions that his innie supposedly fell off a rope. Lumon's explanation for why he was wet at the Orpo. Devin, suspicious, presses him, but Mark deflects. He hangs up abruptly as Ragabi arrives at his house. We learn that she has moved into Mark's basement for security reasons. He expresses frustration over still not remembering anything, and Ragabi suggests that the reintegration might be working more quickly on the reverse side. This innie could be accessing outie memories instead. At Lumon's headquarters, Helena Egan meets with Natalie and Mr. Drummond in a conference room. Helena is still shaken from nearly being given the Crucible-style witchcraft test by Irving at Woe's Hollow. Questions whether they should inform Father, James Egan, about the incident. Natalie and Drummond dismiss her concerns, insisting that Mark must complete the Cold Harbor file, a project of utmost importance to Lumon. They pressure Helena to return to the SVR'd Floor as Helly, arguing that Mark will only trust her if she's convincingly his colleague and not an Egan posing as an innie. Helena resists, calling the innies fucking animals and expressing her disgust at being forced back. However, she has no choice. Her family and the board demand it. She reluctantly agrees. We see her enter the elevator to the SVR'd Floor with a look that is mixed with fear and resignation on her face. Despite her power, she is still deeply under Lumon's thumb. The elevator doors open, and Helly emerges on the SVR'd Floor, marking her first return since the season 1 finale. She, Mark, and Dylan barge into Milchick's office, furious about the infiltration of Helena and Irving's fate. Dylan demands answers, shouting, "What in the abominable fuck?" Milchick explains that Helena was conducting valuable research under a procedure called the Glasgow Block, posing as Helly. He claims Irving's actions led to his innie being fired, and his outie has departed on an elongated cruise voyage. Dylan, unmoved, declares he doesn't give 3 dry fucks about Irving's outie and demands a funeral for Irving's innie, whom he considers dead. Returning to the MDR room, they discover their 4-desk cluster has been replaced with a 3-desk setup, virtually removing Irving's presence from the building. Dylan refuses to sit at the new clump at first, but eventually they settle into their new setup, finding Irving's picture erased from their group photo. Helena, meanwhile, is reeling from the violation of her identity being stolen by Helena. She pleads with Mark S. to believe that she's not Helena, but he's distant and unresponsive, still processing the betrayal, his assault, and the complications all of it will bring when everything comes to light. Milchick attempts to placate the refiners with a story about the Grökschuppen, a Swedish king who disguised himself to root out corruption, liking it to Kier Egan's supposed practices. Mark S. and Dylan call it horseshit, unconvinced by the corporate spin. Helly, hurt by Mark's coldness, follows him to the restroom where we see clear signs of his worsening reintegration sickness. She asks if he's okay, and he admits he isn't. When she presses him on why he couldn't tell Helena was pretending to be her, Mark S. suggests he doesn't know either of them well enough to distinguish. Helly, shocked, accuses him of being an ass bucket, but he brushes it off, saying they should move on, and leaves, damaging their bond and leaving Helly confused and frustrated. God, I cannot talk today.
It's rough. The
I know.
Helena thing keeps getting me.
And that is where you take over.
Oh, whoops. It would help if I had my notes up because I was not paying such close attention to the pictures.
I can take out all the bad space. Don't worry.
Great.
Penis, 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 penis. See, I'm going to take this out.
Cut that. There you go. Would you work with me, please? Jesus Christ. Okay. And how did it? Oh God! All right. Why is my life falling apart today?
I don't know.
I know. I'm a mess. Okay. I did it.
All right.
And here. Back at the last remaining payphone on Earth, Irving's outie makes yet another mysterious call. As he speaks, he notices Bert Goodman watching him from the car. Irving confronts Bert, who admits he's been following him since he came banging on his door in the season 1 finale. Bert reveals he was fired due to an unsanctioned erotic entanglement at Lumon, deducing that he and Irving may have been romantically involved. He invites Irving to dinner the next day with his husband Fields, just to clear the air. Irving, intrigued and seeking answers, accepts. The scene highlights the lingering connection between Irving and Bert, even outside the Severed Floor. At their home, Ricken reads out loud from his revised book, The You Are, now tailored for Lumon innies, with propaganda-laden passages like, "Your sovereign boss may own the clock, but you get to enjoy its ticking." Devon criticizes him for contradicting his earlier work and using Lumon's language, but Ricken defends it as a Trojan horse, claiming it could spark a revolution among innies if they read it. Devon calls that nonsense and accuses him of watering down his ideals for money and notoriety, thus aiding Lumon's harm. Ricken promises to think it over, but has clearly already abandoned his ideals, dazzled by the opportunity for wealth and fame that Lumon offers. His hypocrisy is disappointing, if not surprising. Back on the Severed Floor, Milchick prepares a bereavement kit with Miss Wong's help. Miss Wong warns him against holding a funeral, saying that you shouldn't let them have a funeral. It makes them feel like people. Milchick, undeterred, proceeds. The team gathers for Irving's funeral in the break room, and Milchick MCs, announcing 9 seconds of silence, followed by Dylan's eulogy. Dylan speaks emotionally about Irving's kindness and how he once poured toner in his coffee to teach him a lesson, but didn't actually let him drink it. although he did forget later and have a little sip. They are invited to enjoy Irving B's Fruit Head, a horrifying watermelon visage of Irving's likeness, the centerpiece, adding a darkly comedic touch. In what seems like payback for her earlier comments, Miss Wong is not allowed to play her theremin piece that she's been practicing, leaving her quite peeved. Milchick cuts her off, promising that she can perform it for him alone later, although she is visibly upset. After the ceremony, Mark S., still uncharacteristically detached, prepares to return to work, shocking Dylan and Helly with his willingness to move on from Irving. Dylan reveals to Helly that Miss Casey, the former wellness director, is Mark's Audie's wife, Gemma, complicating their dynamics further. As Mark leaves, Dylan notices the Hang in There poster and recalls Irving's last words to him. Just remember, hang in there. He checks behind the poster and finds a hidden card with directions to the export hall, the hallway from the opening scene in Irving's paintings. Dylan quickly hides the card and keeps it a secret for now. Milchick faces his first performance review as floor manager with Mr. Drummond and Natalie. Ahead of the meeting, Milchick asks Natalie what her reaction was to receiving the creepy blackface paintings, saying he has complicated feelings about receiving them. Natalie just continues to be, I don't know what word it was, terrifyingly blank and cheerful. Natalie just continues to be terrifyingly blank and cheerful. With the review underway, Drummond criticizes Milchick's kindness reforms, citing anonymous complaints about his use of backwards paperclips and overly complex vocabulary. He berates Milchick for treating the innies too leniently, insisting they be treated as what they really are, implying that they are less than human. Milchick promises to tighten the leash, but the encounter leaves him a bit rattled. Later on in the elevator with Mark S., Milchick gets in Mark's face and taunts him cruelly, mirroring his final showdown with Irving. He asks Mark, Did you tell her you fucked her innie at the Ortbo? Revealing, sorry. I'm just going to start the whole sentence over. He asks Mark, Did you tell her that you fucked her innie at the Ortbo? Revealing that he knows about Mark's assault by Helena at Woe's Hollow and may potentially leverage the information against him in the future. The episode concludes with Mark's scout at home, frustrated with Dragabi's slow reintegration process. As he climbs the stairs, his surroundings begin to flicker between his townhouse and Lumon's severed floor. He suddenly hears Miss Casey's voice reciting the wellness lines, and suddenly he has a flashback vision of her. Mark stares at her, clearly overwhelmed by his feelings of love, confusion, and heartbreak, as Adam Scott's performance conveys the emotional weight of the moment. The vision ends abruptly with Miss Casey saying, "Your outie will," and the credits roll. Trojan's Horse is a slower, introspective episode following the intense events of Woe's Hollow. It explores the emotional fallout for the MDR team, Helly's identity crisis, Irving's outie journey, and Mark's reintegration struggles. The title, drawn from Ricken's malapropisms, I don't even know how to say that. Malapropism? Is that right?
Malapropisms.
Malapropisms, okay.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. The title, drawn from Ricken's malapropisms, suggests multiple layers of deception. Helena as a potential Trojan horse within Lumon, Mark as a reintegrated threat, or Ricken's book as a subversive tool. The episode sets the stage for the season's second half, leaving viewers with new questions about Cold Harbor, Gemma status, and the export hall's significance.
Very. I don't want to say it was a disappointing episode because it wasn't, but things happened in this episode that were very disappointing.
What was disappointing for you?
The fact that Irving's fruit head, like, that I had been, speculating on, like, oh, he's coming back. Because look, they're having another melon party.
Yeah.
No, it was for
a funeral
Irving
melon
funeral.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think he'll be back.
I fucking hope so. I'm gonna be so upset if he's not.
Yeah.
And Bert and Irving not knowing each other.
Yeah. That was a bummer.
Yeah, I know. I was really bummed about that. But they're having dinner together next week, so that's exciting.
With his husband, maybe they'll become a throuple.
That's what I'm thinking.
They can invite Miss Cobell.
Yeah, they're gonna have a throuple with a they're gonna have a throuple with a rum ham.
Rum ham. Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes, by the way.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
One of my favorite episodes of Sunday.
Oh my god. Top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Easily. And it's hard because there's literally hundreds of episodes.
Yeah.
I was really I thought the dynamic was really interesting with Helena is basically a prisoner. Like, she really doesn't have. I'm wondering if she had more agency before. Did she make this choice? Was this her idea? Did she decide to get severed? Or was she talked into it? Like, I'm wondering if she had more freedom and agency before she made this choice. But, like, she has no freedom and agency now. They are like, you're going back. Like, if you deal with it. Like,
my theory is that she chose to do this
originally.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I still think she has her own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you my latest theory, and I've been striking out left and right with my Severance theories. So, like, this is, feel free to make fun of me for this one, but so this is what I think. So they're really, like, they explained to her, you won't have to deal with it for much longer. Cold Harbor is almost done.
Mm-hmm.
What I think Cold Harbor is, I think Helena is basically a guinea pig for not even necessarily transferring, but possibly replicating her consciousness into Miss Casey.
Oh
AKA
my god.
Gemma.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
So it's possible that, here's how I see it going. Okay. So her consciousness gets replicated into Miss Casey. Miss Casey is suddenly basically Helena Egan. But Helly R is still there. Because her consciousness has been duplicated.
Uh-huh.
And Helena Egan is not in Helena Egan's body, like, as far as on the Miss Casey end. But Helly will still be Helly. And I think Mark is going to basically have the dilemma where his dead wife, he realizes his dead wife is there. He finds his dead wife, but it's Helena Egan.
Ooh.
And he's
pretty damn good.
And he's ultimately gonna, like, have to choose between, this is my wife, but it's really not my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also kind of in love with Helly, but I'm also kind of not, because I'm not entirely innie anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of where it's headed.
That whole situation is so freaking complicated.
So basically, when he completes Cold Harbor, Gemma's dead. That's what I think is
I
happening.
think that too.
Yeah. That's my theory, which, like, so the question is, does Mark figure this out before he completes it?
Yeah.
And is able to stop it so that he can reunite with Gemma. I mean, he's almost done. So
he's at 86% at the end of the episode. I think I asked this during the live, but I'm going to ask it again for the pod. Why, when they are so close, they're like less than 20% to go on this apparently enormously important project, did they have their orc bow right now? Why didn't they use that as like a reward for when they finish? Like, why would you do it now?
Possibly because, so we found out that it wasn't Lumon's idea. It was Milchick's idea.
Yeah.
He might know more than he's letting on. And maybe he doesn't want Cold Harbor to finish.
Ooh.
You know? Especially since it's like, he's a person of color, and Miss Casey/Gemma is a person of color, and we know how they feel towards people of color at the company. So maybe he has maybe he learned what Cold Harbor is about, and maybe it's that, what I just theorized. And so they're
get outing.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing is. They're get outing. Oh my God.
Yeah,
we just
pretty
broke
much
the whole thing wide open.
But with like a few extra layers,
Yeah. I mean, it didn't seem like he gave a rotten toot about Miss Casey. Like, he did not seem to care much for her at all.
Oh, I know. Like, he dismissed her. Like, she tried to ask him something, and he just like, get the fuck out.
That on you go was so cold.
I know. I know. But I think I said this during the live, but I think that we're going to see. I think that we are going to see a more brutal Milchick, but I don't think it's going to be sincere.
No.
Because I think he's going to be faking it because to follow his own path of trying to take down Lumon.
Were you able to add the shot of the book that they made of his performance review? Because those images were cracking me up. I tried to get them all, but I didn't have the time, and it was too fast, and I kept going back. But it was just like the failures and successes of Seth Milchick, and like paperclip use was like one chapter, and like to use his too many big words was like, I was like, oh my God, like they made a book. Like these aren't even like, it's not typed, they're graphics.
I know.
Like, someone put effort and energy into telling him he's a piece of shit for using his paper clips backwards.
Right? Like, actually, I do. Let me show some of these because I just found them.
They made me laugh.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so user CHUYTM Choidum on Reddit posted photos of this. So, okay, so that's the cover. The principal achievements and failures of Seth Milchick. The following point should be used as a guideline for initiating a discussion to mitigate future failures and encourage future achievements. Short-lived, and it's all failures. Short-lived new refining team. Failure. Ineffective kindness reforms. The institution of new kindness reforms, which have increased amiability but have no way deterred curiosity or idling. Calamitous Ortbo. the theft of card 7197G, which is that card that
Dylan took.
Yeah. Now let's discuss Seth Milchick's contentions. Uses too many big words. Below is a word cloud of Seth Milchick's most frequently used words of the past quarter alone. It is recommended that Mr. Milchick begin simplifying his language so as to achieve clearer comprehension from his subordinates and peers. Short-lived new refining team. Incorrect use of paper clips. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It has become evident over the course of the past year that Seth Milchick does not fully understand the proper, I assume that says the proper use of paper clips.
The fact, like, he says in the beginning that these things have been anonymously reported.
Yeah.
So, like, literally someone went and bitched to the board about him using paper clips backwards. Like,
yeah, that's someone being Miss Wong.
Oh, for sure.
Despite his many and profound failings as some of this I'm just guessing as to what it says. Despite his many and profound failings as a manager of the SVR'd Floor in recent weeks, Mr. Milchick fails to provide the same level of energy and something on a consistent basis. A man of such vigor makes for an excellent ballast on which employees can anchor their days. This sort of something is rare in the ranks of middle management. We will encourage the continuance of this behavior. Yeah. Thank you to this user for showing that.
Seriously.
That was oh wait, is this the word cloud? This is the word cloud. Let's look at the word cloud.
Oh my god. I didn't even get to see the word cloud.
Yes. Okay, hang on. How did I miss this? I don't know how I missed the word cloud. Wait, okay, is it later on oh, here it is. Okay. All right, let's try to enjoy. Why isn't it showing up the same on here? What the fuck? Hang on. Let me open the image in a new tab here. Okay.
No, cut this. Oh, yeah. I got that from the Sunny podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And they just always leave everything in, which always makes me laugh.
Marshmallows
is his most used word.
That's
Marshmallows
awesome.
is a big word.
Meantime, apparently.
Shambolic. That's a good one.
Wantonness.
Sadist is in there.
Oh my gosh. Forbidden.
Ooh. Packing. Mm-hmm.
Malaysia.
What are you packing, Mr. Milchick?
Malaysia. Gullets.
None of these words seem particularly large to me.
Yeah. Devil.
Like, how is marshmallow his most used word?
That's I know.
Hilarious.
Why?
Oh my god, pus is in there.
Pus.
Yeah,
from the story of
I think someone just made a word cloud of his dialogue in the last episode, and they used that.
Yeah, maybe. Well, no, not necessarily, because the word idiographics here.
That's a good point.
Bloat, when he was talking about the melon bloat. Shambolic.
Before the melon bloat sets in.
Yeah, so I think they just like
fertile is one.
What is it?
Fertile.
Oh, okay.
Fertile. Yeah. Right. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Also, bedevil.
I remember that vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I mean, I vaguely remember it. I don't remember exactly what the context was, but I remember him using that word. Yeah.
Sorry, all up in the camera trying to read the.
I'll put a link in the description to that
Yeah.
post and the word cloud as a comment in that thread. But I have to point this out. Somebody on Twitter, these instructions. Somebody on Twitter posted this, and they're like, "I know it says O&D, but I'm choosing to believe it says from Dad."
Oh,
because it kind of looks like Dad.
Dad.
Aw. These are crazy directions.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, right, left, 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 right, 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 left, right, left, right, or left. Like, it's impossible. Yeah. How fucking big is this place?
It's a maze. I mean, it's literally a maze. Okay. Can we talk about this scene with Milchick and Mark in the elevator?
Oh yeah, we can.
That was outie Mark.
You think so?
I think so. It just because Ragabi said, like, you know, it might that his innie might be reintegrating more quickly. Just the way that he talked, the cadence to his voice and everything. I mean, it seemed.
I thought that was outie Mark, and he would go up the elevator and come out as any Mark, like the severance bloop would still switch him just the wrong way.
Oh wow!
Since he was already outie, but then he just stayed outie. I mean, yeah. Assuming I do think that is outie Mark. Assuming that is outie Mark, I guess the elevator just didn't affect him coming back up, or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, because it could be like. It could, like, what if any Mark suddenly knows everything? What if he's completely reintegrated?
Damn.
And maybe that explains some of his coldness.
Yeah.
Because any Mark doesn't give a shit about these people. I mean, outie Mark doesn't give a shit about these people.
I mean, but also any Mark, like, he's going through some things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. No, his coldness is absolutely, like, to be expected. I don't think he was being cold. I think he was having a normal reaction.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, what is he gonna say to her?
I know.
What can he possibly say to her to make, like, any, like, it's just such a lose. Like, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah. And I feel terrible. Horrible. Like, I feel so sad for Helly, but I mean, there's no way that he could. I can't see him being any. I can't see any Mark acting any differently than that. Like
him, like her asking how he couldn't know it was her, and him being like, I guess I just don't really know you that well. Like,
yeah.
So brutal. And I get it. Like, I know, like, he's like trying to push her away because I wouldn't want to fucking tell her. Like, someone's gonna have to tell her eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Man.
But no, you know why I feel like that was outie Mark on the elevator? The way that they talk is very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, any Mark speaks very, like, very clearly and very, like, his voice, like, he projects his voice, whereas outie Mark is, like, he's a bit more soft-spoken, like, his
outie Mark know about the newspaper, though? Or maybe just, like, regain that memory from reintegration?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, it just seemed so like the way he was talking to Milchick just seemed so like outie Mark.
I thought it was outie Mark too. I like at least by the end of the scene, I thought it was outie Mark too. Because I was like, oh, it's outie Mark, and he's gonna go up the elevator and come out as any Mark, and any Mark's gonna be stuck outside for the whole next episode. And then that didn't happen, and I was bummed, but still, I do think it was outie Mark. I just don't. That's my only hang up is. I mean, but he's also going through reintegration, so who knows what on earth he remembers from his time at Lumon. At all, yeah,
for sure.
Do we lose any Mark forever once they're fully reintegrated? Is any Mark just gone?
I guess so, yeah. Which is sad. A shame because any Mark is so likable. Like,
I love any Mark.
Yeah. You know, outie Mark is definitely has a lot more emotional baggage and you know, projects that. He's more normal. He's a traumatized guy but like just the way that he said that thing about the bullshit Gazette, he used that very soft voice that outie Mark usually speaks in, you know?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Oh my God.
Whereas like any Mark is a lot more animated.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So I really think that was outie Mark. Can we talk about Irving for a second?
Yeah.
And who he was calling? I have a new theory.
Who's that?
So somebody we talked about this on the live very briefly. I mentioned that somebody had suggested that maybe he was calling PD. And I was I don't think that's the case, because you would think that he would have heard about a Lumon. Yeah. But not necessarily. What if he's a guy who just doesn't particularly like to, you know, read the newspaper or like, I mean, think about it. Think about it. People usually found out that people died through the obituaries.
Yeah.
Which were in paper newspapers, which aren't really a thing anymore. You know, I mean, they are, but
true. Yeah.
But you know, you don't really hear about people dying as easily. So I think it's very possible, and I don't think that Lumon would want his death overly publicized.
Oh, for sure.
So I think it's extremely possible that he didn't know that PD's dead. And we saw PD's phone keep ringing with like blocked calls, and I assumed it was Ragabi.
Yeah, me too.
But maybe it was Irving.
Interesting.
And you know, maybe PD started reintegrating and found Irving. Maybe they knew each other somehow. I don't know. But but I'm thinking it makes sense now for it to be Irving. We obviously know it wasn't Bert. But I think Ragabi would be picking up and talking to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah. And, you know, the whole thing, like with my outie got the message. I think it's possible that he and PD may have connected once PD started reintegrating and discussed a way for him to like get a message to his outie. And that was like to basically make his like do nothing but the same thing over and over again. So
that's the painting.
Yeah. And try to stay up all night so that he falls asleep and dreams about that, because that's the only thing that's going on in his life right now is painting that same thing over and over and over again.
That absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. So I could see them discussing that. And And Ragabi told Mark, like, the only answer is reintegration. So, you know, I think like, and Mark told Petey that he didn't want to reintegrate, and Petey didn't push on him, but like, he found Mark. Why wouldn't he necessarily go to the other refiner places?
Yeah.
He may have gone to see Dylan.
Yeah.
But, you know, when he may have gone to see Irving, and Irving was like, yeah, this is, you know, you have some interesting information here, and I would like to. But also, the other thing is, he had that list of severed employees. I think I could totally see him getting that from Petey, because he didn't even know Bert, but he had his address. You know what I mean?
He had a lot of addresses.
Yeah, I think he may have gotten that from Petey, because Petey had Devin's sister's address. Like,
yeah,
he knew
that's
where
a good
Devin's.
point.
I mean,
yeah.
Devin's sister. I mean, Mark's sister's address. He knew where Devin lived.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So I think he was trying to get a hold of Petey, and he just doesn't know he's dead yet. That's my assumption. And I think we may learn that eventually that Dylan has talked to him, that outie Dylan has spoken with him, with Petey. And I think we'll see him and Mark having a chat too soon. I hope so.
Yeah, I was really hoping when they ended that last episode, not last episode, but the 2 episodes ago with Mark on the table, that the next episode would open with the flashback of Mark's first day at Lumon.
I know.
I really thought that's where we were heading, but like literally nothing has happened that I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. But
excuse me. Yeah. Nothing. Like that every time the episode starts up, it's just in a completely different place than I'm expecting.
Bert and Irving. I have a bad feeling.
No.
I know. I want these two. I want these two to get married and live happily ever after with Radar, even though Bert's currently married to someone else. But
Fields can come along.
Well, here's the thing.
They can be a polycule.
Here's the thing. I think either Bert or Fields has some duplicity going on. I think one of them is a double agent of sorts.
My bet would be Fields then.
I hope it's Fields.
Yeah.
I fucking hope to God it's Fields, because that would push Bert and Irving together.
And Bert got fired. So
yeah.
But like a double agent.
I mean, why was Fields so why was he so convinced that they were together? You know what I mean?
I mean, Irving showed up at their door screaming Bert's name in the middle of the night and pounding on the door. And
well,
then when
yeah, he also
door,
did
he was
get fired.
Where am I? Like,
yeah, he also did get fired for a romantic entanglement.
Yeah, I don't
know.
Erotic
entanglement.
Erotic entanglement. Yeah. Unauthorized erotic encounter. Is that what it was?
Yeah, something like
that.
But unsanctioned erotic.
Yeah, that was it.
I think it was unsanctioned erotic entanglement. I don't know, something like that. But you know, there's still this mystery of why Lumon had information saying that Irving was skilled at kissing and lovemaking.
Yeah. They would tape in his waffle parties for future review.
I mean, was it? I mean, because at the waffle party, like most of the dancers there, it's possible that Irving could go both ways. Most of the dancers were female. There was one guy.
There's some dudes, yeah. There's at least one dude.
Yeah. maybe Irving goes both ways. Who knows? But like, I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't seem like something Irving would be into.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he would be into it at all. But
yeah,
I mean, also, if it's your first time being chosen for the waffle party, do you know what you're getting into?
No, I don't think so.
Do they tell you in advance, hey, you get a waffle and then an orgy?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if it's an orgy. Do you just pick one? Is that the point?
I have a feeling that the orgy is a mandated part of it, because I think it's like, I think there's some breeding attempts involved.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible. I think it's possible that like they may do something so that the innies don't remember that part of it. Because we've never heard, like, I know they're not supposed to brag about previously earned waffle parties.
Yeah.
But you would think that we would have heard Dylan say something about it.
All he talked about was like that he was for sure gonna win it and he didn't want to lose it, and he was very excited about the prospect of winning it. That's all I really like say in the early half of the season. And then when they talk about it, when Cobella and Mark talk about it, she's like, you could have chosen yourself. And he's like, that's not my thing. So I feel like they know.
Well, the other thing is Irving, when Dylan talked in the first episode of season 1, when Dylan talked about the waffle party, and Irving was like, back in my day, they filled up the creamer and shook your hand, and and he's like, imagine putting in a hard day's work and not getting a children's breakfast in return. Like, he didn't say he didn't say anything about an orgy. Like, he said,
good point.
So I don't think that Irving knows about the waffle party, but it's hard for me to believe.
He does spend a lot of time dozing. Maybe he's never had a waffle party.
Yeah, that's true. That's possible. But I just feel like Dylan would have said something about, like,
the
waffle parties being fucking crazy.
Yeah. Whoa, it's so hot or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Because he even comments on like the wall of Lumon smiles. And he's like, "Oh, they took down the chick I liked." Like,
yeah. That was so fucking hilarious. They took down the chick I like. Oh my god. I love Dylan.
He's the best.
I think the waffle party is, I think the orgy is because there's some breeding going on.
That would make sense.
Yeah. And and I feel like they do that for the refiner of the quarter, because like that's a person that's a hard worker and that could possibly be very loyal to Lumon. And so they want more of that.
Is MTR the only team that gets waffle parties? I just assumed that it was for everyone.
Yeah,
every department was able to earn a waffle party.
Oh, maybe because I was just thinking about it, the refiner of the quarter. But yeah, they could have that for other departments too. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Irving had to have gotten a waffle party at some point.
At least one.
Yeah, and if he doesn't remember anything about an orgy, then,
or he's just too polite to talk about it.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but you get a note that says, "Please go to the founder's bed." You're not like, you're not cuddling up and watching TV, okay? That's not what's happening.
Gonna Netflix and chill with Malice.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlikely.
Yeah. But what were my other? Oh, okay. The doctor in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't see his face.
Uh-huh.
There's clearly a reason for that.
Yeah.
First of all, when let me bring up this picture. I can't help but wonder if that's the bad soap. I want to know what the bad soap is.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
and how does Milchick use said bad soap?
What is it for?
Yeah.
What does it makes you feel bad about yourself?
I don't know, man.
You like pump it and it's like you gain 10 pounds. Like,
oh my god. I loved Helly's reaction to that. There's bad soap. But
no, a 4. Yeah. It's bizarre how many things, like, it seems like everything, we don't know much about Mammalian's Nurturable, but both MDR and O&D have their work deals with their output elicits emotions. They were talking about the hatchet, and they were like, those were kind of aggressive. And the one girl was like, they aren't aggressive. They're just, like, what, like, yeah, like, why are they fucking with everybody's brains so much?
I don't know.
It seems like a bad plan.
And I still think that there's something behind the rumor about MDR having pouches. Like, I think it comes from something. You know what I mean? That has something that has to do with.
It really seems like Lumon is trying to alienate MDR from the other departments, like MDR specifically.
Yeah,
because like yeah, Dylan has a grudge against O&D, but they don't have any like rumor. There's no rumor about O&D that multiple departments are aware of, as far as we know.
Yeah.
And like there's that whole painting of the MDR massacre, and there is like the reverse one for O&D, but like other when they went to Mammalian's Nurturable, they were afraid of MDR.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a Lumon thing, that they are purposely trying to keep everyone away from MDR.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
And it's, as far as we know right now, the smallest department.
Yeah. Yeah. And now it's only 3.
Yeah.
But I wanna talk about the doctor. So they obscured his face. They wouldn't have done that for a reason. I mean, they wouldn't have done that for no reason. So there's a reason that they obscured his face. And I have 2 guesses as to why that could be. First being that either his face is like really messed up.
Uh-huh.
And it's messed up because he's kind of like a draft.
Uh-huh.
Like an early rough draft clone.
Low res.
Yeah, exactly. Second guess is that he's supposed to be Kier. But there was something about him that seemed very artificial, just like the way that he walked down the hallway. He was like, he was just kind of twitchy and shit, you know?
I heard a lot of people guessing it was Ben Stiller, but I don't think it matches his body type at all.
No,
or
not
hair.
at all.
Although he could be wearing a wig, but still, it doesn't really. I don't really think he looks like Ben Stiller physically.
But I do wonder if Ben Stiller is going to end up playing Kier Egan.
That would be. He's supposed to cameo this season, so
yeah, we'll find out. He's because Kier has those blue eyes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah, I kind of wonder that if he's going to be Kier Egan. But Oh God, I totally forgot about something that oh my God, I had something in my head
Oh
that
no.
I wanted to talk about, and I completely forgot. I'll cut all this out, obviously. Fuck, what was it?
I don't know.
Oh, motherfucker.
What is
That
this?
feels Bert.
Oh, never mind.
What the fuck was it? The doctor. There's the doctor. Okay.
Since we're gonna cut this, I'm gonna readjust.
There's the doctor. What was it? Oh, fuck. It's gonna kill me. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I don't think this was it, actually, but whatever. So with the doctor,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting that he was whistling "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald" by Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
Because basically, if for anyone who doesn't know what the Edmund Fitzgerald was, it was I think it was a freight ship, and it sunk, but there were never any bodies recovered.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a big mystery when it happened, that there were no bodies recovered. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that seems very on brand for Lumon, you know? Like in the
Don't like
universe.
that.
I know. I mean, well, we know they take bodies. They took Gemma's body.
Yeah. Yes,
Um,
they do.
but yeah,
Oh my god, how about Mark finding that box of her cremains
yeah,
and then being like, who's in there? Like, who is
seriously.
in there?
I know.
Oh my god.
I know. Who the fuck, like,
That's so fucked up.
why did I mean, maybe it's just plain generic ash from,
Yeah.
and
From a
it's not actually
tree.
human remains.
I'm gonna pull up this picture real quick. This scene
Yeah.
here, I thought it was real interesting that he asked her directly now. He was
Yes.
like, hey, what the fuck is it? Like, how do you feel about this? And she still just is giving nothing. She gives less than Hillary Duff. She gives absolutely nothing.
Less than Hillary.
And I'm like, I'm flabbergasted. I thought it was really cool that they brought it back because he tried to have the conversation with her just with eyes.
Yeah.
And she was like, fake it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was really cool that he brought it back and was like, no, seriously.
Yeah.
What is this white nonsense?
Yeah, I like that he revisited it too.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna really try to prove his loyalty to Lumon so that they trust him more. And he can use that to take them down from the inside. It would be so cool to see him working with Mark and Irving on the
Oh
outside.
yeah.
That would be
I'd
awesome.
like to see him flipped. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would
I would
be
enjoy that.
super cool. But yeah, I was shocked by the fact that he really was genuine when he said that he wanted it to be a kinder workplace.
Mm-hmm.
I was
I
not expecting
know.
that.
I know. I really didn't think that either. Like, I did not realize he was coming from a place of sincerity.
Yeah.
Has he just been with Lumon so long that he doesn't understand what's good and bad anymore? Or
Yeah.
like he really thought he was doing something kind and like running the department in a better, more progressive way than Miss Cobella did. And yeah, really interesting. Really interesting to see what his like actual motivations are this season.
Now, do you think that they're going to get rid of these incentives?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that means no outie visitation suite.
Yeah.
Dylan's not gonna like that very much. And Dylan, props to Dylan, man, because I was fully expecting when Milchick first brought up the outie visitation suite, I'm like, oh, we're all gonna hate Dylan this season because he's gonna be like, you know, he's gonna be a Lumon loyalist because he wants to get to know his outies family.
Yeah.
And no, he's got his priorities in the right place.
Yeah, he does.
Like he's loyal
a real
to
good
people.
boy.
Yeah, he is. He is. Props to Dylan, man. I am liking him more and more. I always liked Dylan, but
yeah,
like,
I love Zach Cherry. Yeah. I just love him. I love him. I'm seeing him in something this prestigious, like just really enjoying it. Good for you, Zach. You deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite moment in the entire episode is when they're doing Milchick's performance review. And he says, it will take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. If it's longer than 4 hours, we'll have lunch. And he's like, well, I hope it won't be that long. And he's like, here's the menu. Like, straight up, you suck. We're going to be here for some time. Order an appetizer, probably. You're going to want like something extra to tide you over. That was so funny. So deadpan.
Yes. That was
Loving
fantastic.
Olaf Olafsson this season. This is so wonderful so far.
And we also learned that there's definitely some cultiness going on because Drummond referred to Kier's father.
Yes.
So
is he an Egan? Is he an off-brand Egan?
Like maybe a cousin or something, or
yeah.
And that's why he has a different name. Like his mom was an Egan, but
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible.
Miss Cobell's brother.
Okay, what is up with the hair though? That's what I want to know. Why do Oh, yes. Okay. I brought up the hair and that triggered what I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring up, like, why do Ricken and Drummond have similar hair?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
That's weird. It seems like all the dudes have long hair.
But
like long.
I know. Okay, I did not notice this until I brought it up during this recording. Look at those fucking lamps. Did those not look like the Lumon? I mean, do those not remind you of the Lumon oval?
Yeah. Yeah, I did not catch that.
Yeah. That and like there's just a lot of stuff going on. Okay, we're going to do a Ricken and Lumon deep dive when the season's over because there is a lot to be talked about where Ricken is concerned. His name contains the words Kier clone. Do I think that means he's a clone? No.
100%, yeah.
He's not a literal clone, but I think he's a mirror of Kier Egan.
Interesting. Interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I also think that Lumon might have this opinion too, and they might know more about him than we realize. And
that's why they're having him write new scripture.
Yeah.
For Lumon. Interesting.
I think they feel like I mean, I'm still convinced that like he is in some way connected to Ambrose, or like Ambrose consciousness is going to eventually like invade Ricken's body.
They're gonna get out. That's what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
training to get out everyone, and everyone's gonna be an Egan. It's
Yeah.
just gonna be Egans all the way down.
Yeah, and I think there's gonna be some replicating of consciousness too. Like, you know, like I said, like Helena isn't going anywhere, but I think her consciousness is gonna be replicated into Miss Casey.
Interesting.
And that's what Cold Harbor is all about. So yeah, I don't know. That's just my, and I think when that happens, I think that perhaps that sets up for her having a powerful job within Lumon that isn't CEO, because that's when when they're going to be able to bring back Kier to be the CEO.
That makes so much sense, actually. Oh no. She got all innied and felt up for no reason.
I want to know, there's one thing I really want to know, and that's, I need to know if the MDR department stinks to high heaven because of the egg that Irving slammed in the book, or if they've already found it and gotten rid of it because they smelled something funky. But
they had to. I mean, how many days has it been since that happened? 3? Like, we don't have, I have no idea.
Well, some time had to have passed because they instituted the reforms and everything.
But that was only like a day or 2. That's what I was saying, remember? Because how did they make that whole claymation video?
Yeah.
In like 2 days? Like, stop motion takes forever to make. And it wasn't 5 months. It was like days.
Because they had a bunch of clones working on it, doing
that's my
the same 100%. Job.
That's my headcanon right now.
Yeah. So everything's way faster now because they just have a bunch of clones working on it together. I mean, hey, if I could be recording and have my clone doing like administrative grunt work for the show at the same time, think of how efficient.
This movie, The Island. It's not. It's much worse.
So we did kind of get a clue as to what time of year it was. Because I was,
after Christmas. After Christmas.
He was looking for eggnog and said that
it was out of season, but it's still fucking winter.
It's probably January. It's probably like January or February.
So I'm like, Christmas is over. There should be no more snow, right? So.
Oh no, we got dumped on the past couple days here in the Chicago area. We got lots of snow outside.
Only at Christmas.
We have a lot of snow outside.
Can't take those machines out to make snow all year.
Oh my god, that's so funny. But yeah, so it's probably January or it's probably like mid to late January. If he thought he could still get eggnog, it's probably not that long after Christmas. Which means that like since season 1 started, probably has only been like a couple of weeks because
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because we would have seen like people celebrating Christmas.
Yeah.
You know.
I would say a maximum of 3 weeks has passed, and that's probably being generous.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. And plus, like, they had the Egan family gala. Like, a lot of companies will do holiday parties like after the new year, like at the beginning of the year. That's what a company I worked for, that's when they would have their big holiday party every year. It would be like in early January after the
Interesting.
holidays.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like, it was an annual family gala. That's what it was referred to as. So if it's annual, that was probably their holiday party is what I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So maybe they actually do have 4 seasons. Who knows?
I like the perpetual winter theory.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay, if Patricia Arquette does not show up in the next episode, I'm gonna rage.
I need more Leah Shawkat.
Yeah.
Why did
Well, I
they
wonder.
announce all of these wonderful? They're like adding to the cast, and then they only have them in one episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bob Balaban and Aaliyah Shawkat and Gwendolyn Christie have all, and Merritt Weaver have all only done one episode.
Yeah.
Quit teasing me.
Well, we know we definitely will see Merritt Weaver again because we saw her
for
in the
sure.
trailer. But
I thought for sure that they would recycle the old MDR team and the like reject MDR team, and they did not have not. They have not seen them at all, except for
I
that
remembered.
1 second scene of Bob Balaban.
I just remembered what it was.
What was it?
Because you started talking about the old MDR team, and that's what triggered it. Because I thought earlier that I remember, and then I was like, no, that wasn't it. No, this is what I was trying to remember. So, Mark told Devin that they told him that he fell off a rope at the Ortbo. Dario, the Italian guy, said that they have a rope, and that's how they get.
Yeah,
which makes no sense because like
how does it how does the elevator, how does it know when to switch you over as you're climbing up and down a rope?
Yeah. So I think what I think happened is I think that Dario's memories of his branch were false.
Interesting.
Like he may have I mean, I think he's Italian because he has an Italian accent and speaks broken English.
A name.
Yeah.
I really liked that he had a head cube like Mark's, but it was carved out of wood.
Yes.
I thought that was really funny.
I think it's possible that they I think they gave him false memories to kind of like encourage him to be happy to be there. And I think if that's the case, then I think it was probably to show that they can do that with their employees. They can like
okay, but
give them false memories.
If they can erase people's memories and give people false memories, why wouldn't they just remove MDR learning about Helena?
Yeah, I don't know. But I can't help but notice the weirdness about.
I definitely feel like the chips do a lot more than they're letting on. And we already know they are able to hold them in some kind of stasis or like sleep with the chips.
Maybe. I mean, Dario is younger than some of the others. Maybe they can only implant false memories into like people who haven't been with Lumon, people who haven't been severed for as long, like
newer chips.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I mean,
lots of choices.
Yeah. Yeah, but I couldn't help but feel like that was really weird that he gave this story that made no sense. It was hilarious, but it made no sense because like the people would be falling off the rope when they wake up and go to sleep. And
you start every day like on the floor.
Yeah. And and they told Mark that he fell off a rope, and Mark had that injury to his hand in season 1, and they told him like it was a mishap with a water cooler, and they used that same excuse with what's her name in the Lexington letter, with Peggy in the Lexington letter.
Yeah.
So I can't help but think that's kind of all related. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I mean, I don't think we'll ever see Dario again. I don't expect to. But I just think that if that's the case, I think that was done to show what Lumon can do.
I mean, if we're going to see any of the old refiners, I would rather it be Aaliyah Shawkat, but I'm less invested in Dario.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I would like for them to come. I'd like for let's all get together and team up. Why do they only need 3 or 4 people to do? Especially because, sorry to get off on like rolling down a tangent, but like Bob Balaban's Mark W said that they almost never finish their files.
Yeah.
They only finish like 33% of their files. So why wouldn't you want more people working in MDR?
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, I don't know. Like multiple people working on the same
Yeah.
file or something. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Makes
I
sense
don't know.
to me.
Maybe they're assigned to files by their temperaments. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the 4 tempers or humors or whatever are clearly a very big deal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, you know, maybe some of their consciousness or their personality gets transferred into the file somehow. I don't know. And so like if they don't want Dylan injecting too much frolic into a file, or like or Helly injecting too much malice into a file or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do hope, I'm glad that Fields and Irving are having ham together next week.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I said this on the live, but I really need them to turn on some music, and I need to see Irving dance together because both of the guys can dance.
Yeah, that's true. I would
I mean,
love that.
I think Christopher Walken is like a professionally trained dancer.
He's a good dancer, yeah. He's a real good dancer.
Yeah. I don't know if John Turturro is a professionally trained dancer, but I know he can dance. Like he dances in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I need the two of them to dance together.
Who says we like red wine? Expensive. Your bottle is going to be $12, sir, and that is the maximum I'm willing to spend on. Don't tell other people to bring expensive wine to your house.
Right.
Go get your own expensive wine and serve it. And say, bring a loaf of bread or flowers or something. That's so rude.
Yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I was like, excuse me? You're doing anything? What? Where? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rude.
Who's your who are you putting in the break room this week, and who's getting an incentive?
Oh man. What a tough week. I'm gonna put Natalie in the break room. Because level with a homie, Natalie.
Yeah.
You get just squint a little, like anything. Just give him a it's white nonsense.
Yeah.
You know it. You know it, Natalie.
Yes.
Give your boy, like, not to make everything about race. Excuse me. But like, there is a feeling and a conversation that every two Black people who are the only two Black people in a place where everyone else is white all have. We all exchange the look. We all have the moment. Like, and the fact that it is like that, like, is she a robot? You can't give him the look, like the, I know, right? You like nothing, like zero, like, come on, Natalie.
Yeah.
Come on, Natalie. Have a heart. Be like just one, like, iota human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight to the break room. And then my incentive is definitely going to be for Helly, since we're on episode 6 and this is the first time we've seen her this season.
5, episode 5.
5, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, not to skip ahead. Yeah. Episode 5, and this is the first time we've seen her this season, and like, what a difficult transition this is going to be for her. Like, she didn't even get to tell them like what happened. Like, she walks into the room and Dylan's like, "You're a fucking Egan." Like, she's outed immediately. She's had no time to like, she goes from being tackled to being in front of some weird 12-year-old who wants to play the theremin.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I feel for her. I really, I feel for Mark a lot too, but that's such a confusing, awful, painful situation, and it's gonna be real tough to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
With all of that.
I'm glad she wasn't mad at Irving for almost killing her, because, like, you know, she probably realizes he's the reason that she's back there.
Yeah, absolutely. Irving saved her life. I mean, like, basically, like, we would have maybe never seen Helly again.
Yeah.
If someone hadn't caught on.
I'm gonna go a little rogue with my MVP and LVP this week, because I'm going to give them to people whose we saw the effects of their actions in this episode, but not necessarily like anything they did in this particular episode. So,
okay,
my MVP is Irving B.
Okay.
Because he, you know, just for hiding the directions to the exports hall.
Irving B was with us in spirit.
Yeah.
And watermelon head, so I think that counts.
And my I'm the one I'm putting in the break room is I hate to do this because this was the episode when he was the most likable. But I'm putting Milchick in the break room for firing Irving B.
Yeah.
For basically killing Irving B.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. Yeah.
I know it happened last week, but like it's just, you know, we felt the effects of it this week, and we couldn't give the LVP to anybody but Helena.
Yeah.
Last week. So
she raped someone.
Yes.
So, yeah, sorry. Not to like, I've seen someone even left a comment on our live that people have been saying what happened to Mark is okay because he's a man. Fuck you. That's not okay. Nothing about that situation is okay. 2 people got raped in that situation, and none of it is okay. If you're one of those, if you're a podcast that's out there saying something like that, go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah.
That is a horrible, horrible situation where 2 people got violated, and it's not funny.
No, it's not. It's
just
not.
to throw that out there. I know I've said it plenty, like, but yeah, no, someone made a comment on our live about thanking us for calling it rape and saying that other shows are like joking about it, and absolutely
oh my
not.
God. Yeah, that's terrible. I know men who have been raped, and It's not something to joke about. It
No.
fucking sucks.
And it's a problem that the entertainment industry uses it for humor so often.
Yeah.
It has like done damage to the way people see like rape for men, period. And like anyone who thinks that's funny, I will personally drive to your house and punch you in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
DM me your address. I'll be there.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, to go a step further, like think about all of the trans men who have been raped.
Yes.
Like yeah. Rape is rape and it happens to everybody.
It's not fucking funny.
No,
no
it's
part
not.
of it is a joke.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not.
Sorry to throw that PSA in there and derail your MVP and LVP, but I just thought about that. Someone leaving that comment earlier this week, and I wanted to say that because not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Absolutely not. Oh God. I really hope I don't see anybody saying that. But yeah, so Milchick, you know, like he's just getting a retroactive LBP because he needs it for firing Irving B.
Yeah, 100%.
We had to give it to Helena last week.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just no other choice.
It's crazy to like look back on all of this season and think about that. Like this is Milchick trying to be nice.
Yeah, I know.
And like trying to be kind and accommodating and the opposite of Miss Cobell.
Yeah.
And this is what he came like. Who raised these people?
Seriously. Oh, incentives. Irving B.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
You know what? Irving B. Okay, because they made a fruit head, an Irving B fruit head. Irving B gets his own personal melon party.
I love that.
What about you? What?
My incentive will be that they're able to split Helly and Helena, but not put Helena in Miss Casey's body, but somebody else's body, and then Helly gets to beat her up.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I don't think that's a Lumon incentive, but it should be.
That's the incentive I am creating.
Yeah. When you go to work for Lumon, that you'll be a valuable pioneer for the company of new punishment implementations. Speaking of valuable contributions, if you haven't checked out our interview with the cast of Yellow Jackets yet, Jazzy knocked it out of the fucking park. So you need to check it out. Even if you're not a fan of the show, just go check it out. It's short. I mean, it was a round table, so it's not like we got a ton of time with these folks. Just go check it out. You'll be glad you did.
That's so kind of you. Thank you.
And I have not put it on the audio podcast yet, but hopefully by the time this video goes up, hopefully it will be up there on the audio podcast. So look for that. Also, we are starting our Yellow Jackets coverage. We're starting tomorrow, Sunday. Well, it'll be today by the time this goes up. Every Sunday we're going live immediately following new episodes of Yellow Jackets. So come join us, call in. They're always a lot of fun. We usually get a lot of people for the lives for the Antler Queens lives. And if we get enough people, we'll usually like do something fun, like play a Mad Lib or something. So yeah, come join us. It's a lot of fun. And we will be timelier with our Yellow Jackets coverage after this first week, but this first week it's been a lot. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
A lot came in all at once.
Yeah, it's been rough. So just hang in there, like the poster says, and be patient. And I promise you will get your Yellow Jackets coverage extremely timely before the Sunday showings. So I promise. You just have to be a little patient this first time around. But Jazzy, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about? Or
I feel good about it. I feel like we did
all
it.
Right. Awesome. All right, guys. So we are out for this week, but come join us every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern to talk live about the latest Severance episode. Dawn joins us for that. It's a lot of fun. And until next time, praise Kier.
Praise Kier.